Hello and welcome. India's commercial capital Mumbai suffered an horrific attack by armed gunmen last month. With just 24 hours before that attack, overlooking one of the main locations where a siege occurred, we arranged a discussion panel with a group of young professionals from Mumbai to ask them what their thoughts were about living in the city. Well, this is how the discussion went. Well, Mumbai, the commercial hub, is home to about 19 million people, roughly the population of Australia. It's a city of opportunities, a melting pot of cultures, cuisines, languages and races representing India's billion-plus people. Now, we've gathered a group of diverse and active young professionals from all walks of life to explore their hopes for their future and the future of their country. You'll get a chance to meet them individually as the conversation begins. I want to welcome you all to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Akshay, if I can start with you there in the corner, you've basically spent some time outside India. You studied in Florida, you went to the US and you got your commercial pilot's license. Now you've come back to India and you're finding it very hard to get a job. Why is that?
Because it's the most lucrative profession which is taking the boom as of a couple of years ago, not right now. If anyone had to ask me if they should get into this profession today, I would say no. Because it's not viable right now because it's financial suicide. Every day there are probably 1,000 people trying to get into this profession, and as of last year they didn't fire all the foreign pilots. They cancelled orders for 100 aircraft. I'm not saying that was done purposely. Maybe it was done for financial reasons, maybe it was done for other reasons. And the flying age has now been raised to 65. So with these three factors plus a lot more, first officers not being ready to take over command and other such miscellaneous reasons which wouldn't be, which no one outside the industry would really be aware of. Because of such reasons, there are no jobs open to anyone right now. Airlines are facing a setback. The world recession has totally bombed this industry completely.
If I could bring in Gulhena, or Hina as you prefer to be called now, you teach second grade students at an Islamic international school. I know you and your husband and struggle to bring up your young child.
Yes.
What is the biggest difficulty you face?
Actually, being a Muslim, and it's very difficult to get a job, and especially with the hijab, wearing a hijab, it's where if you apply in some MNC or something, you clear the interview and they are like looking forward to tell you the first thing they'll tell you need to remove this. Secondary, people here don't, entertain Muslim people a lot. They like, people who are more, they feel that Muslims are like very narrow-minded people. They feel so.
Is this something recent? Is this something you faced all your life living in India, or is this something recent?
Yeah, after I had completed my education, I had joined a multinational company. That is I was a part of a very good company, but the atmosphere there, I was not able to adjust myself. And secondly, when I joined, they told me clearly that I wouldn't have been having night shifts, but later on, they turned on to it.
We'll look at and I'll get the impression from others actually what they feel about the religious divides in India in a moment. But Mridula, good to have you as well with us. And you're a model. You're working actively. You got fed up of that lifestyle and decided, okay, let's open a restaurant and bar somewhere in town. Of course, you decide that, and the recession hits. How has that affected your plans?
It's not affected my plans at all. Actually, property prices are falling, so it's actually working to my advantage now. I'll have my lease amount for the property will be much lesser. And also I'm planning a mid-sized bar, so it'll be really affordable for people.
Will they still go out though and spend? This is one of the big worries. In other parts of the world, people they're not using their money to go out to entertain as much.
No, in India there's a big chunk of people who really go out and have a drink in the evening and go out for a meal. There's a big market for that.
Okay. Shahid, so give me some of your background.
Yeah, I'm a marine surveyor.
That's right.
I'm an engineering graduate. And I did a course in London.
That's right.
In marine surveying. So
now, what is it you are expecting in terms of your future prospects? What do you think will be?
I have my own firm, So as far as I'm concerned, quantum of work hasn't suffered yet. But as you know, my profession is directly linked with international trade. So as international trade falls, there will be some effect towards my level of, the amount of jobs I'm getting. But in the past couple of years, I've had too much work. So now I'll have enough work that I can handle.
You remain fairly optimistic then with the way things are.
I'm always optimistic. But
right.
yeah.
And Vikram, of course, you're the other one. Vikram, you did political science, and you're doing a human resources MBA. Now, in terms of what you're planning to do, how you think that will affect you in a time where perhaps maybe jobs will become more scarce?
I do agree that jobs will become scarce, but then as a graduate, as a management graduate, it's going to force me to, upgrade my skills as I go on. Of course, employers are going to look out for more and more quality. So probably it's just making me work even more harder than what I'm doing right now. So.
Danish, good to have you as well.
Hi, thank you.
You teach as well at an elementary school. Working at an elementary school, seeing the divide between the rich and poor, how do you assess where Mumbai is now?
What's happening is in the field of education, I see a lot of middle class parents who want to give the best to their children. So come what may, they go in for the school whether the fees are high or it doesn't matter to them. It's the education that matters. So I think we have that kind of a thing. Nobody is going down without a fight. So basically India is headed in a very positive manner.
Actually, there's a lot of, obviously, technological advances. There is economic development to a certain level. There are infrastructural changes. But what Indians really lack is social development. I think we don't have civic sense. There's low sanitation. And I think that would improve quality of life within. Because we have so many people living under the poverty line, it's a bit difficult to sort of educate them that they should not litter outside. Or even, I don't throw anything out of my car. I have toffee wrappers in my bag, or I have a dustbin in my car. People need to do small things to make the city look better or the country look better, and it'll just give a positive feel. Okay. So I think civic sense, very important.
Vikram, what do you want to add?
From what you're saying, Mridula, the reason for this is probably the infrastructure is not probably given as much as a priority as the services sector has been, over the past 15 years from when we liberalized, I would say. In the coming days, what I see is government spending going towards developing the infrastructure in India. And when that happens, I'm definitely, I'm positive on the point that people don't litter, or probably there'll be facilities. The facilities are not in place on the ground.
No, but people are ignorant about the fact that they are littering their own country, their space that they are living in. So they need to probably change. There's a mindset change required. Okay. Also, there's of course, we have a lot of restrictions, like religion is a big issue in our country. And that actually brings a lot of, it's an hindrance.
Let me ask actually, and get back to Hina on this issue. What do you see as the solution for the particular problem you face being a Muslim here then?
I feel that, people should be open enough. They should, approach people who are like of different caste, different religion. They should give an opportunity to prove people are highly qualified. Being a Muslim, I know people who are highly qualified, but they don't get that opportunity to prove themselves. So they should at least have that opportunity.
But I think there are a lot of Hindus and Christians and Sikhs are also not getting jobs
definitely,
here. So
I mean to say, yes, definitely. I mean to say everybody needs to get a better opportunity as such.
I think that view comes from the city itself. We are too, metro-centric, so to speak. Right. And with the kind of population, like you just mentioned, 19 million people in Mumbai, there is bound to be some element of, issues in terms of your sanitation, your cleanliness. It's just people need to be made aware.
On this issue of the divides, perhaps how the secular nature of India perhaps isn't as solid as people imagined it to be. Danish, do you want to add something to this?
Yes, I just want to say that I guess there is that kind of people, the middle class people, who show that they are very broad-minded, but underneath it all, they do have that sense that, okay, you are a Muslim, I am a Hindu, absolutely, you are a Christian. Right. Because I have had parents who come up to me and say, please don't give any Muslims admission. And then when I tell them I am a Muslim, they are embarrassed about it. So they say, especially the burqa walas, that is what they have. Then they say, oh, not you, not the type you are, but the burqa walas.
For me, always knowing, especially Mumbai, to be such a mixed city, people intermarry and so on, it's a surprise. Shahid, is this something, again, relatively new, or is this something that's just surfaced? That was always there?
Personally, I've never experienced it, but I've been reading about some incidents, but there have been incidents on both sides. To take back on the religious divide, the infrastructure, the civic sense. The root cause is a lack of education. There's a lack of awareness. Awareness at the grassroots level.
Whose responsibility is it to do something about this?
It starts with us.
It starts with us.
I've grown up in South Bombay. I'm not categorizing or anything, but I've grown up in South Bombay, and till I heard about the riots when I was a kid, till I met more and more people from the suburbs, met more and more people from out of the areas I grew up in, I had no idea of these religious divides. I knew there were various religions. I studied about all of them, and personally, I don't believe that much in religion. I believe in God, but I don't believe that much in religion. So I haven't grown up like that, and I fail to see why everyone else must differ on these issues.
Yeah, but that again is like idea and form. You have an idea of this superpower, and then you give it a form and say it's God. So to a Muslim, it's Allah. To an Indian, it's to a Hindu, it's Lord Shiva or Krishna. So it's basically just giving form. And I think that in your practical life, you should not mix this and make
But then again, when you come to the question is who's going to solve this problem? Right. What I see is there are political parties in India who are taking up the causes that probably don't matter to the people. They appeal to the religious sentiments.
So basically politics is really used latching onto religion. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Divide
exactly.
and rule is the world's oldest weapon. I mean, when I was talking about me not believing, it doesn't mean I don't respect those who do. But I haven't seen this while growing up, and we've all studied divide and rule.
Well, I wonder, Hina, was it much worse after September the 11th? In India, would it make a difference?
Well, definitely it made a difference, but you know, that was not a major cause. It is since quite a long time, you know, this the riots which we had in December. I mean, after that it was a major, you know, drawback for both the caste. You can say the Hindus and Muslims, and actually the political party plays a major role on this. They should do something about it. Instead of discriminating this, they should stop it, you know. They should, you know, make a point.
Is there anything among the children that you see in school you see that there may be some more integration, or are the parents conditioning their children also to live this divide?
I think they are conditioning their children too. There is that hidden thing that, okay, he's a Muslim, you know, and I mean, they are consciously aware of it. Even children as young as, say, 4, they are aware of it. I mean, I really don't know, again, like, you know, she would say, Mridula is saying that let religion be aside. I really don't care what you do in your personal life. Let the politicians leave that aside and take the country ahead. Because here, every time there's an election, the religious card is played, the regional card is played. We don't need that. We need to live in peace.
Hina, you were going to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add this. Whenever India talks about terrorism as you know, term, especially the Muslims are targeted. You know, if we go to the if you go to the history, if you see, there are, you know, other political
of course,
figures, you can say. I mean, if you take examples, there are other people who are, I mean, responsible for it. But if you talk in India about terrorism, the first line that comes is Muslims, you know.
People don't say that all Muslims are not
No,
terrorists.
no.
But a lot of terrorists who are caught are Muslims.
No,
So
they have.
that's why it's generalized. That's why it's generalized.
Let me ask Akshay, of course, you witnessed being in America, being in Florida, but of course the 9/11 suicide.
I was close by to one of the schools.
Oh, there you go. It's an interesting thing, the way it was handled in America, the Islamophobia. Do you see any reflection of that in India?
I don't know if it's that carrying on over here. I think India has enough of its dirt when it comes to Hindus and Muslims right from partition time. That's where it all stems from, and that was unnecessary. This is a personal opinion, but if you have to talk about a reflection, I don't see it. If we have enough of our own dirt, which is just being swept under the carpet, but everybody knows it exists. We live in it, and it's just a social nightmare.
Is the media to blame at all, Vikram?
I would say the media has played a positive role. I mean, if you go by the last 20 years, probably when you mentioned about the riots that happened in December '92, the kind of violence that we saw, okay, now there was no proper communication channel then. Right now we are surrounded with at least 20 to 30 media channels, you know, they are covering everything. So people are, you know, not relying blindly on one person's opinion. What they're doing is they're going to channel, just seeing what's happening.
So the media is helping and not hindering here for a change.
It's not hindering. I wouldn't say it's hindering, but then it's acting as a channel. It's how you take it as a person, probably.
Well, I'm going to ask you all to stand by. We're going to take a very short break here. When we come back, more with our panel discussing some of the issues facing India's future. We'll be right back.